Good day, good noon, and good evening, everyone. During the Japanese occupation of the Philippines, education was used as a tool to spread their influence and reopen but focus on teaching Nippongo, promoting Asian values and removing American influence. While this occupation was to instill loyalty to Japan, it disrupted the normal educational system and limited Filipinos' access to broader knowledge and freedom of thought. And this will be further be reported by my co-reporters. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. We will tackle about the Japanese occupation in the Philippines. The Japanese landed on Luzon on December 12, 1941, just a few days after the attack on Pearl Harbor. A larger invasion followed on December 22, then on January 2, 1942, they entered Manila. The Philippines, being made up of many islands, was quickly occupied by Japanese forces. Once the Japanese established control, they immediately focused on education. Military Order No. 2 created the Philippine Executive Commission. This body included the Commission of Education, Health, and Public Welfare. At first, these were only minor adjustments in existing institutions. But later on, in October 1943, the Japanese set up the Ministry of Education. But even earlier, by June 1942, after they secured Luzon and other major areas, schools were already reopened, this time under Japanese supervision. The goal of these changes was to use schools for propaganda. The Japanese wanted to influence Filipino minds and promote their culture and ideas. In short, the Japanese occupation affected not just the country's government and freedom, but also the way Filipinos were educated during the war. Now, let's talk about the educational goals and principles. The Japanese educational effort in the Philippines was based on 6 basic principles. First, to promote the new order and friendly cooperative relations with Japan. During the Japanese occupation, education was not just about academics, it was also about spreading propaganda. The Japanese wanted Filipinos to accept their control, so they promoted the idea of a new order in Asia.
Second, promote changes in Filipino culture. This goal aimed to remove American influence and replace it with Japanese traditions. The Japanese wanted Filipinos to act, think, and live more like them. Third, change cultural values, especially perceived American materialism. The Japanese believed that Americans focused too much on wealth and luxury, so they wanted Filipinos to learn simple living and avoid materialism. Fourth, promote the use of Japanese language. This goal focused on teaching students to speak Japanese. It was a way for the Japanese to spread their culture and make communication easier under their rule. Fifth, promote vocational education and lessen the emphasis on liberal arts. This means that the Japanese wanted students to learn practical skills like farming or carpentry. They reduced the focus on academic subjects like history and literature. Sixth, to inspire the spirit of loving one's neighbors. The last goal encouraged kindness, cooperation, and unity among Filipinos. It was a part of Japanese idea of creating a peaceful and disciplined society.
And now, let us proceed to how do they differ from the American system. So the Japanese occupation and the American system in the Philippines had distinct differences in governance, policies, and impact on the country. Governance structure. American system established a civil government led by a governor-general with a semi-independent government after 10 years of American rule. The Commonwealth government was more autonomous with a president, legislature, and judiciary similar to the U.S. system. Japanese occupation set up a military government with a civil government commission that exercised both executive and legislative powers. A puppet Second Philippine Republic was established under President Jose P. Laurel. Policies and impact. American system introduced English as a medium of instruction and implemented a public school system. They also promoted economic development through infrastructure projects and trade. They also fostered a sense of democracy and self-governance through the establishment of a Philippine Assembly and Senate. In Japanese occupation, they imposed strict curfews, censorship, and control over the media. They promote Japanese culture and values and encourage the use of a Japanese language. And they exploited the country's resources and economy for Japan's benefit.
The key differences. Autonomy. The American system allowed for greater autonomy and self-governance, while the Japanese occupation was marked by strict control and limited freedom. Economic policies. The American system promoted economic development and trade, while the Japanese occupation exploited the country's resources for Japan's benefit. Cultural impact. The American system introduced Western values and education, while the Japanese occupation promoted Japanese culture and values.
Emphasis of the curriculum. Teaching of Nippongo, a Japanese language. Students were required to learn Japanese to promote cultural assimilation and loyalty to Japan. During the Japanese occupation of the Philippines, year 1942 to 1945, the teaching of Nippongo or the Japanese language was made compulsory in schools. Teaching Nippongo was less about education itself and more about shaping the mindset of Filipinos to accept and support Japanese rules. Vocational and practical-based learning focused on agriculture, trades, and handicrafts to make Filipinos productive and useful for Japan's wartime economy. During the Japanese occupation in the Philippines, education was reshaped to emphasize vocational and practical-based learning. This type of learning aimed to make Filipinos useful to Japan's war economy rather than develop their own higher education or critical thinking skills. Moral and character training emphasized discipline, obedience, and patriotism but directed towards serving Japanese ideals. During the Japanese occupation, schools gave importance to moral and character training. This meant teaching students values like discipline, obedience, respect, and patriotism, and moral character training was used to control the mindset of Filipinos and make them loyal to Japan.
So in continuation with the topic of the emphasis or the effect of the curriculum in schools by Miss Molina Silhouette. So number 4, removal of pro-American lessons. Textbooks, reading materials, and subjects that reflected American culture, democracy, or Western values were banned or censored. The Japanese replaced them with lessons that highlighted Asian unity under Japan's leadership. This was part of their propaganda to make Filipino forget their ties with the United States. For the Japanese to make the Filipino forget the more on American cultures or Western cultures is they banned or censored their teachings. So the Japanese at that time highlighted that we are from Asia, so we need to gather as an Asian unity, and it is under the Japan's influence because at that time Japan was the strongest nation in Asia. Number 5, physical training and labor. Schools encourage students to take part in manual labor, farming, and physical exercises. This was meant to keep the youth strong, disciplined, and useful for community service. It also prepared them to contribute directly to Japan's need during wartime. So, in contrast with the American type of learning is, or we could say that the current time or the present time, learning right now is we can choose on what we specialized in. But here, in that time, the Japanese rule or Japanese occupation in the Philippines, they encourage the students more on to partake in manual labor, farming, and physical exercises. So this was meant to keep the youth strong, disciplined, and useful for community service. Especially at that time, so the Japanese or the Japan is very strong, but they lack the manpower or the technology to push back their enemies. Even though the Chinese at that time were very weak compared to Japan, truly not. The population of Japan at that time is, you could say that it is very large, but not to the point that they could overwhelm the Chinese or the other nations that they have attacked, especially the United States. Contrast with the United States is technology is very strong. Their military also is very strong. We cannot underestimate also the Japanese, but at this time they also need more people to partake, to change into soldiers. So the schools at this time is they truly not focus on more on learning how to write or how to read, but more on manual labor and physical exercises, not only for them to make the youth strong, disciplined, and useful for community service, but also when the Japan's needs during the wartime against the United States of America. That is all. In short, the curriculum during the Japanese occupation was not centered on the full intellectual growth of Filipino students, but on reshaping them into obedient, hardworking, and loyal subjects of Japan. So in conclusion, education during the Japanese occupation between 1942 until 1945 became a tool for propaganda and control. Unlike the American system, which promoted democracy, freedom, and critical thinking, the Japanese system emphasized obedience, loyalty, and practical labor. The goal was not to empower Filipinos, but to make them useful and submissive under the subjects of Japan. In the end, education was centered on shaping Filipinos to serve the interests of the occupiers rather than preparing them for their own nation's growth and independence. Thank you and God bless all.